Hello and welcome to another Your Move Co. Girls Series workout. We're doing Joleine today and she got a big booty, so make sure you got a booty band. We're going to get started with a little bit of a warm up. So run and grab your booty band if you haven't got it yet. Join me when you're ready. We're doing a standing glute stretch. So you're just alternating foot on your knee and then just sink into it. So if you need a wall, grab a wall. Down and down. If you don't need a wall, don't use a wall, but balance is more important than anything else. So balance first, stretch second, and just keep it moving. So first couple of things are going to be without the band, then we'll whack it on, have a really great workout, little stretch at the end, and be on our merry way. Keep it up, 3, 2, 1. Cool, just spreading your legs out nice and wide. We're just going for your side lunges, just a casual warm-up style side lunge. Just opening up the hips but keeping the weight back through your heels. Good. Go down as far as you feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be too low again because it is a warm-up. You may warm up a little bit into it as you go, but just making sure that your heels stay down. And just think about like squeezing the butt on the leg that's pushing up. So squeeze the butt, lifting up to the center. Good. Now we're just going to have a little bit of a moment on the ground. Think about your plank position. Now we're not going to do a plank, but bring one knee in. This is your starting position. We're going to do, I call these pigeon kicks because you're kind of in a pigeon position. And then you're just lifting and lowering the leg. Just aiming not to roll over to the side. So in actual fact, you know, the higher you are, so the more that your hip is over the knee, the easier it is. The lower you are, the more the knee is in front of the hip, the harder it is. Just find out what the optimal position is for you. Not too easy, not too hard. But just feel that knee that's on the ground, that glute side. Ooh, she starts to burn. Cool. Just lifting, lowering, not kicking, just lifting. Good. Just switch it over to the other side. Bring that knee in so you can match it on the other side. Stretch the other leg out. And off you go. Just lifting again. Just noticing if one side's easier than the other. Don't have to take any action. You're not going to be able to change anything today, but you can just notice potentially which side needs a bit more attention, which side needs a bit more work. Cool. Just make sure your extended leg stays extended. It does like to bend and be floppy. As part of this exercise, just make sure that a nice tense long leg is part of the exercise as well. Good. Make sure the rest of your body isn't rolling around. It's literally just the leg moving. Everything else stays nice and still. Fantastic. All right. Reset. Step 1 is change the timer, 30 seconds. Step 2 is change the sets, 4, 8, 12. Cool. And step 3 is obviously to put this booty band on. So we'll cover these exercises one by one as we go, so we're not losing any time. Just whack it on like underpants, just slightly above your knees is ideal. And the aim is to make sure that the band is always stretched, whether you're at rest or not. So the first thing we're going to do is crabbies in your space. So a slight bend in your knees pulling apart, and just take it away. Stretching, stretching, stretching. Now, you could be holding on to dumbbells. You could be increasing the load here. You're allowed to do that. So maybe just get through the first round body weight. And in good spirits, I will also add a 5 kilo dumbbell to all these. Good. Now, there's no real additional rest. You only get 10 seconds just to figure out where you're going or what you're doing next. The next one is, as you would guess, we're doing a squat. So again, slight bend in the knees, pulling the band apart, and just going down and up, being most conscious about how you get up, because that's where the knees like to come together. So you want to pose that, knees go out, knees stay out, stand back up to the top. If you can achieve that in this 30 seconds, I can't ask any more out of you. That's really the most important part with this exercise, is just making sure that the knees stay pulled open. Great. Excellent. This next one's a bit weird. We're just going to do some step backs. So, yeah, pulling the knees apart. I'll show you from an angle. We're just going to step backwards and forwards. So you remain in that slightly knees bent position at the front, keeping the stretch in the band, so you're stepping both backwards and out to the side. So don't let the foot come in towards the center. Take it out on its own side. Whew. Good. Just see if you can straighten that back leg. And your spine is, your spine is straight, and you're just on a slight lean forwards. Cool. This is the hard part. I'm sorry. If you can, we're just lying down on the ground. I didn't really explain how you were going to get there, but here we are. Good. Glute bridges up and down. Just don't rest at the bottom. You know, this is a quick workout, so we've got to squeeze as much goodness as we can out of each exercise, which means no rest at the bottom. Tap and squeeze. Tap and squeeze. Make sure your rib cage is down. Hips are tucked under. And think about pulling your heels and shoulders together towards the center, just so that your hamstrings come to the table. Great. All right. That's all we have to do. We've got to do it all again. I'm just going to grab my dumbbell so that we're playing together. Ready for your crabbies? Round number 2. So I'm just holding it under my chin. I think just a 5 kilo weight is sufficient. Come back to me in a couple of months' time. I'll probably be down for 2, but today, 1's fine. Keep that stretch in the band. Keep the exercise moving. Keep the knees slightly bent and keep the knees slightly open. Cool. Ready for your squats. You can hold the dumbbell in the same way. And 2, 1. Now, depth-wise, at least get your butt to knee level if you can. If you want to go lower, fine, great. Just make sure things don't go too funky down the bottom, where like the hips might change shape, the spine might do something weird, the chest might dip forward. It's not what we want, so just make sure you find the depth that's right, but you're still challenging yourself. Fantastic. All right, so we got your step backs. We can still do it with the dumbbell. If you want, I might just flip it 90 degrees. It's just adding a little bit more load. A little bit more load means a little bit more effort. A little bit more effort means a little bit more reward. And you might even find, I'm just finding it right now, first couple of exercises, your body's kind of warming into it. And then you hit this point where it just starts to suddenly just get a little bit easier, maybe. Or a little bit stronger. Not necessarily easier, but just, I feel like I'm stretching this band a little bit more. Maybe it's just warmer. Maybe it's a placebo. I don't know. These are just my verbal thoughts. Come on down to the ground. We can even put this dumbbell on your hips, so it's a great use of the dumbbell and the booty band. And we've got your just tap and go glute bridges, pulling your heels and shoulders together towards the center. Now, if you want to make it harder on yourself, just bring your feet out a little bit further. And this is turning it into more of a long glute bridge. Optional, but you know how we love options. Pulling heels and shoulders together towards the center. Good, and give it a good squeeze of the cheeks at the top. Cool, let's do it one more time. Everything. Now, I don't know how you're getting up off the floor, but however way you are, I'm sure it's good enough. Now it's probably not going to look like how I do it, and that's fine. Good. For this last set, really think about stretching that band extra. So if you think it's warmed up and you've warmed up, you should be able to squeeze more out of it. No rest for the wicked. Cool. Ready for your squats? And yeah, just exploring maybe a little bit lower than what's normal for you. Like we've all got a range that we can do unconsciously without even thinking. Maybe just be a little bit more conscious and drop it down just a little bit lower. Nothing crazy. A lot goes a long, long way when it comes to squats. Good, one more for good luck. All right, your step back. I'm calling them step backs because they're not really lunges. Don't want to sign you up to lunges. I know how much trauma that gives people, but just a step back into kind of like your sprinting position. Good, keeping that stretch in the band, stretching it vertically and horizontally, which I think means diagonally, but you know, here we are. Good, just keeping that front knee bent, don't let it get pulled back. Keep the weight over the front leg. It's the back leg that doesn't really have the weight in it. Fantastic. All right, last time on the ground, and then we'll stay close to the ground for a little bit. Ready for your glute bridges and or long glute bridges. Whichever one floats your boat. Say if your hamstring's cramping up straight away, probably not the long glute bridges. Because you really got to focus on pulling in so you're not sliding out. Pull in and stay pulling in. That just gives you so much more bang for your buck when you're doing these exercises. And you know, with a 10-minute workout, every bit counts. Cool. All right, ditch the dumbbell. I'm just going to change this timer. All right, so we're just going to finish it off with a stretch. Now we're going to try and utilize this band as much as possible. So have it hovering around 1 foot/ankle. You're going to lie down. This time will go off in a bit, but we're going to get started. And just pull your heel towards you. And you can use that as a bit of leverage to stretch your butt. Now just make sure it's not going to slide off your foot. Make sure it's not going to slide off your hand. Otherwise, we might hurt ourselves. Anyway, just make sure you're secure. Now we can transition this. You can straighten the leg. Oof. I mean, there in itself, you get a really nice hamstring stretch. So if you want that moment there, go for it. Oh, especially if you pull that toe towards you. But also, just take it across the body, a straight leg over the body. Get a nice little nervy, tingly stretch going on there. Hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then just take it over. Slide the other foot in. Start off your little glute stretch with the band. Just pulling your heel towards your face. If you've got a spare hand, just push your knee away from you. Good. Good. Just stretch your hamstring. This one's a good one. Well, at least it feels good for me today. Good. And at least you don't feel like you have to round your spine or bend your leg. You got a bit of leverage there with the band. Good. And just take it across the body. Cool. You did pretty well for time there. Alright, I'm just going to stop this timer. Hey, well done. Again, that was Joleine. Your booty band. Oops. booty-centered workout. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Doodles!